How do we navigate through our doubts? One of the things that, if you'll notice, is whenever you're about to give a presentation, or you're building a business, or you're making a life-altering decision in your life, you will be faced with doubts. Doubts will inevitably come into your consciousness. You will find yourself drifting along with the doubts, and eventually it will tell you that you're not capable enough. It will tell you that you will embarrass yourself if you make that speech. If you are building a business, you will be set with doubts whether you'll make it or you won't make it. I mean, those are some of the things that I have had, and I've challenged those doubts while I was building my business. What I learned was something that I'm gonna share with you in this video. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and let's get right into this video. Number one is acknowledge your feelings. Those feelings of doubt will arise when you are on your way of challenging yourself, because your comfort zone will attack you with doubts. Your comfort zone will attack you with possibilities that you can never do this, or you can never do that, or you'll embarrass yourself, or you will make a fool out of yourself if you do something like that, because it sees you doing something out of the ordinary. It sees you doing something that you've never done before, and now you're doing something challenging. Now you're doing something which is beyond your comfort zone. Because you made a decision to actually move in that direction, doubts will come, and you will find yourself being dragged down by those doubts, because you don't realize the fact that you've never been doing that it's not been done before in your entire life, and you're now forcing yourself to do something different. That's when doubt really begins to come at us, and we find ourselves following our doubt. And instead of actually falling prey to your own doubts, you have to acknowledge your doubts. What do I mean by acknowledge your doubts? It was just 3 years ago that I had started out my business, and I wanted to get into the game application business because I realized that it was something which was becoming really big, and if I could have my own gaming application, I would somehow be financially free. I would be able to actually move. I would actually be able to travel to places whenever I wanted, wherever I wanted. And those were some of the goals that I had set for myself 3 years ago. And for the first year, I was struggling with so many doubts. I was struggling because of the fact that I was also working at a job. The doubt was something that if I put all my savings in building my game application, I would actually be worse off if I fail and I had to still work that job. So I realized the fact that I had no other option but to succeed. That was one thing that I knew. So what we do is we acknowledge our doubts. I acknowledged my doubts. I realized that my life would be much worse if I failed, but I did not let that become my reality, because of the fact that I was aiming at becoming financially free, because I could do some of the things that I always wanted to do, that I could actually become more freer in my own self, in my own ability to actually give birth to my own potential. Because at a job, you cannot actually bring out your potential. You're limited. You're confined to some of the ways that you can actually act out in a job. So I realized that my potential was not coming out the way I wanted it to come out, and that's why I had to find other ways to become financially free. And eventually, after about 2 years, I really scaled my business from 1 lakh to 10 lakhs in the gaming application, and I realized I was much more financially free. I realized that I could travel anywhere I wanted to. I realized that I could do everything that I wanted to do, and it was because of that decision that I made at the beginning that I was willing to challenge myself. Whenever you're willing to challenge yourself, you have to develop yourself. You have to see in what ways can you actually become better. And that's something where your comfort zone, you will have to leave behind. You will have to leave behind the things that you've been doing for so long, because those are the things that are literally generating your doubts. And that brings us to my second point, which is seek information when you are faced with doubts. There's some knowledge that you might be lacking. That's why doubts are being generated. So I started to learn more about how I could actually develop gaming applications. I actually found few people who could actually give me that knowledge that I needed to know in order to understand how I can actually develop a game application, how I can actually move in the way to actually monetize from that game application. I learned the ways of the market. And that's how I became that person who was now forcing himself to seek that knowledge in the process of actually building my business. And that's something that could help you to remove your doubts. And that brings us to our number 3, which is talk it out. Express your doubts with someone that is a benefactor, someone that holds your thoughts in the best way possible. I mean, you don't want to share your doubts with someone who is going to nag you or is going to probably bring you down. If you're having doubts, you have to raise those doubts with the right kind of people. It will actually help you to remove your doubts, because when you are actually talking to someone, they can have their own perspective. They can help you with their own perspective if they are inspired enough, if they are motivated enough, and if they actually believe in you enough. So find yourself those kind of people. And if you don't have them, then there's so many applications where you can actually talk your doubts out. You can actually go into those communities and you can actually bring forth those doubts. And there are people that are willing to help others, and you will find yourself being inspired by other people's perspectives, and that is somehow which you would require in whatever way you are being challenged. It will help you to advance in that way. And the number 4th is trust your instincts. I realized that I am not built for a job. I realized that there's so much more potential in me. It was something that I was being led by my own instincts, that I should find other ways where I can actually bring forth my potential. And I realized that I will only be able to bring forth my potential out when I am financially free. I realized that being financially free was not the goal. The goal was to become better each day, and in that way I could actually express myself better. I would be able to do more things in my free time. I realized that that's what I was looking for. It was not just the financial freedom that I was seeking. It was, when I am financially free, I will be able to do these other things which I really love to do. I want to speak with audiences. I want to start my YouTube channel. I want to do these other things as well. So that's what my purpose was, to be financially free. So believe in yourself and trust your instincts. That is something which is very important. You should be able to do that. You should be able to listen to yourself. You should have that voice in your head that can guide you towards living your best life. Number 5 is seek professional advice. Now, this one is for those people that find themselves trapped in situations or in environments where they cannot actually rely on just themselves. You have to seek some professional advice in case you find yourself not being able to navigate through those doubts or through those challenging experiences that you're probably being faced with. When you take professional advice, they can actually give you the right guidance in how your strengths can be actually marketed in the right way possible, and that's something you must go for if in case you are not able to actually navigate that for yourself. Number 6 is self-care. How are you taking care of yourself? Are you exercising enough? Are you taking care of your mental health? Are you reading enough books? Are you looking to your ideals? And are you trying to follow their path in a way that would help you to also see some of your own strengths that may unlock some of the things that you probably do not realize for yourself? Self-care is really about that. It's about bringing forth your potential in this world, in the marketplace, in a way that could benefit others. And self-care is when you know enough about your own strengths and your weaknesses as well. Once you know about your strengths and your weaknesses, you will be able to actually command your own self. Those are things that we need to do for ourselves. So self-care is important. Self-care is one of the most important things which will help you to remove your doubts. It is trying to build the belief in you that you can achieve the impossible, that you can achieve that has not yet been achieved. You can do those things that have not yet been done. You can innovate those things that have not yet been innovated. You can discover those places that require you to see how your product can actually fulfill the demand of that market that is lacking in that place. So there's so many ways you can actually bring forth your abilities. There's so many ways you can do that, and self-care will help you to find your right opportunity. Self-care is what's going to help you to create your own opportunity. And even if there is no opportunity, self-care will build an opportunity. It will help you to create an opportunity for yourself even when things seem bleak. Now, the number 7th is, this is my favorite because this talks about patience. It's about patience. It's about recognizing that you have not yet discovered all the things about yourself, that you have not yet found the right ingredient that will take you to that place. So patience is something that is most underrated. It's a kind of calm attitude that you are moving forward in your actions with. Patience is all about moving in the direction of your dreams, but carefully calculated ways are gonna produce the right results. Patience is also about how you probably might not have all the answers, but it does not mean that you cannot get the answers for those questions that are being generated because of your doubts. Your patience, it's about reliance on that you are constantly developing yourself, that you're constantly forcing yourself to look in the direction of your aim, your goal, and your vision. And you know that great things take time. Rome wasn't built in a day. You have to make sure you're not moving ahead of yourself. Don't move ahead of yourself. Don't try to overthink things. Take your steps carefully and don't care about how things are going to turn out. The results are not in your hands, and they never will be in your hands, and because that's something that's out of your control. So by dwelling on the results of what will happen and what won't happen, you will only make a fool out of yourself. So patience gives us the ability to realize that if it did not happen then, or if it did not happen, if it's not happening now, you have to move with patience. You have to move with realizing the fact that everything will come together when you have given enough time to the thing that you want, when you have given enough time to whatever it is that you're striving for, and it will all come together. Your doubts will be removed. You will be able to look yourself in the mirror with admiration and with that ability to realize that you can overcome anything if you go with all these 7 ways to navigate through life, and doubts will become a thing of the past for you. I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button because I'm going to be coming back with more such videos. Thank you so much.